Hi guys, charity shop Gold or Garbage out at Keynsham today. I know I shouldn't have bought it, but we got another radio controlled car here. It's quite a reasonable size one, this. Cost me £2. The real reason I bought it was I was looking at it in the shop and looking at the chassis. I don't know if we can see it clearly enough here, but it's clearly one that's adjustable to fit different body shells. You can slide it along and reposition the front section compared to the rear section. So that's what caught my eye. It says 27 megahertz. Does it say who it's made by? IMC Toys Limited. Yeah, IMC Toys. Don't know if you can see that. It's got the Marvel logo because obviously it's a copyright thing. The Amazing Spider-Man 2. I expect my grandson, the youngest one, he loves Spider-Man. He might like this, but there's a problem. I put fresh batteries in it because the original ones were completely dead. They weren't corroded or leaking, but they were dead. And initially I thought, great. Forwards and backwards, but no left and right. You can hear another car running because, as usual, I've got another car that I know works in background just to make sure all the transmitters I try are transmitting. I've been through all my transmitters. None of them are any different to this one, so this one's good enough to demonstrate. And it appears we've got no steering. Now that might be a wire off, or it might be the receiver in there is expecting a different signal for left and right. But clearly I'm signalling left and right. The car down there is working and this one isn't. But forwards and backwards is fine. So I guess we're going to find out what's inside, aren't we? I'm going to have to take it apart. At the very least, just to check there's no wire hanging off the steering. Okay, what have we got? Aerial's a bit tight. There we go. Let's lift it out okay. So, there's our wires going up to the steering. Looks like the receiver is in this little cover here. Well, they're not actually hanging off loose. I'm just looking through the camera because I can't make out the numbers on that chip, so I'll have to have a look at it when I edit it back. On the other side, oh, I can see that one. '14 dated. Yeah, that's okay. I don't know if you can hear that car in the background, but clearly the battery's running down on it. Anyway, we've established it's not a problem with the receiver board because we're getting the signal all the way to the motor here. I wonder if that'll just lift out or whether I've got to unscrew the rest of it. I wonder if I can just... No, I suspect I've got to get under there and take the steering apart. Okay. So this has lots of potential. Looks simple enough. Looks like that motor should have just pushed out anyway. Yeah, it would have done if I'd have tried harder. But we get to see the steering anyway. So we've got the gear on the motor. Drives that big gear, and then on the back of that there's going to be another gear. On the back of there that drives this, what do we call that? Quadrant shaped piece of plastic. It pushes the steering side to side. Yeah, there's a spring under there. Oh, it's just the normal shaped spring with that peg there going in the middle to give us the centering. See if we can get that back. Yeah, got that back okay. So yeah, I like this. You can see you can unscrew these and move them in and out. There's little slots for them to go in. So you can adjust the width of your steering. That's brilliant. Obviously you'd need a different length one of those if you were going to shorten it. But that's brilliant. Okay, which way round was that? Have I turned it around? Yeah, I reckon it's got to be that way round, hasn't it? That bit there fits over that bit there. Well, there we go, we've got a bonus. We get to look at the steering as well. There we go. Right, with a bit of luck, we'll be able to get the back plate out and leave the brushes on that little white section there. Yeah. Well, that's a bit of a turn up. I've just taken the motor apart. I won't take it apart again, but I've just taken it apart, cleaned the brushes because there was the grease on there, but it was green and horrible. And I don't know if you can hear it. But that's running fine now. So I think I'll just put it back together. Yeah, that appears to be working. So I better put this back together. Oh. Come on, there you go. That's better. Last look. That's all in there. So if we pop that back in there. Result. Just a matter of cleaning off the brushes on the motor. I didn't need to replace it at all. Brilliant. So a couple of screws back in there. Oh, wrong screwdriver bit. There's one screw in there, isn't there? Those are actually tucked into that little slot down there. Okay. I'm glad I stopped and looked at that motor, because otherwise I'd have been soldering in a new one. It just sits in there. Do we want to have a look at the motor and gearbox while we've got this end apart? I don't expect there'll be much to look at, to be honest. There we go. Oh, that's easy enough to look at. So we've got a cylinder motor, not a flat-sided one. An intermediate gear. A reasonably big gear on the back axle. And again, this can be moved in and out to accommodate narrower chassis. Yeah, oh, I like this car. I like this a lot because of its flexibility. Excellent. Well, I've put it back together But I'm now regretting not having spent a bit more time looking at the gearbox, because it sounds to me like we got some broken gears in there, or some teeth missing. Reverse is okay, but forwards, that makes a horrible noise when it starts. So I think we might have some missing teeth in there. But then that doesn't explain why it sounds quite alright in reverse. Let's have a look. Well, we're looking at the gearbox again. There's no clutch mechanism. So it can only be the motor is, or these gears are sliding around a bit, so they're not making full contact. There's no missing teeth here. These all look fine. That's very sloppy on there. I think that might be what the problem is. There's a lot of play there on that shaft. So that gear can come out of alignment. Well, not out of alignment, but it can move enough. Yeah, that gear is a bit worn. Not terribly worn, but a bit worn. Gosh, even that's adjustable. I don't know if it'll help at all. I've just pushed the pinion gear further out away from the motor, so we've got some slightly fresh teeth, or fresh area on the teeth, to bind with that gear. I haven't bothered to put the body shell back on again, and it is still slipping, so I haven't cured it. I'm not entirely sure what to do about this now. Clearly I fixed the problem with the motor for the steering, but we have this problem with the gears on the back here not meshing properly. I think it's just that the plastic is too flexible and it's allowing the intermediate gear to move out of alignment or out of mesh with the pinion gear on the motor. And I can't see an easy fix to hold it in place. So I'm going to put this to one side for a while and may come back to it later. Very frustrating because I love this idea of the adjustable bodywork, so you can widen and shorten and widen and make it narrow. All these screw holes here, I mean, you can unscrew this part of the bodywork and slide it backwards and forwards. So I love the concept, but the fact that gear is, or the gearbox is not meshing properly is a bit of a problem. Hey, thanks for watching. There's plenty of videos on my main channel with more added daily. So don't forget to subscribe and enable the notifications to keep you up to date with my new releases. My second channel, Grandad's Other Channel, is where I put the longer videos with more detail. Then there's my Facebook page, and you can follow me on Twitter. You can help keep my channel running by donating $1 on Patreon to buy me coffee. And if you fancy some Grandad merchandise, I have 2 shops, one on Redbubble and the other on Cotton Cart. Finally, you can always find more information in the video description. Thanks again for watching.